Welcome to step 5 for sexual addiction. That is our topic today. We've covered step 1 through 4. Step 5 has some really important things in it. So if you are not a subscriber to our channel, please do, because we got the rest of the steps to go through. And if you're in sex addiction recovery, I'm proud of you. We're going to have a really good conversation today, so stay tuned. Now, if you have a question, you know to put it in the little box below. I'll be happy to respond to you as soon as possible, so stay tuned. Step 5. Now this is for sexual addiction, so let me first read the step and let's take our time parsing through the step. And if you've gotten to here, it's really good. This is a good step. So step 5, admit it to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. Now in step 4, you did an inventory. Okay, we talked about how to do that inventory, and it's written down, but you got something to do with it now. Now, admitting to God, relatively the easiest part of this entire process. And I think it's really fine if you want to take your notes on your inventory, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, sit down, maybe outside you feel closer to God, or just sit in a chair in your living room, or be by yourself. And just say, God, I want to talk to you. I want to go through my step with you, God. I want to admit some things to you. And see, actually give God the honor of being a person. Okay, so like talking to your dad or your mom or a friend and say, you know what, God, I'm just going to pretend you're in the room with me. Sit in the chair and let's talk. I want to go through my good list. I thank you for those things. I want to go through my bad list. These are the things I've done that I knew were wrong when I did them. And I need to just be honest with you about them. I don't feel good about these things, but I need to tell you them. I know you were there. I know you saw it. I can't hide anything from you. You know, you're the one person, there's no out. And I want to share also the ugly things that you watched that happened to me that I did nothing to do with. Sexual abuse, the trauma, the rapes, other things that have happened to me, maybe accidents or illnesses. And I want to talk about that as well. I want to go through this list with you, God, and really set a time where you might have 1, 2, or 3 hours, depending on how long your inventory is, and go through the process with God. He loves you. He's so proud of you. He's so excited to have this conversation because it's the way that you and him can clear the air and say, all right, you now know I was there the entire time. That's God speaking. And as a person, I know that he never was not there. Even when I didn't acknowledge him, even when I didn't know him, he was there. And he was providing and caring. And oftentimes giving me opportunities not to do the bad things. So I have to just be honest with all of that. And I find it's really helpful for clients to actually have that conversation. You know, I live in Colorado, so sometimes they go sit on a rock or they find a hiking path. Sometimes it's in your basement or it's in your favorite place in your house where you just sit there or on your back porch. But find a place when you and God can have this very prolonged conversation. And don't be surprised that you don't sense his presence, like he's listening, because he listens to every word we say, even when we're just by ourselves saying some things we might not be proud of. He's there. And he's so excited for you to have a relationship with him. So take the time. Don't go over the step and go, oh, I got to tell somebody. Yes, you do. But do it in the order that the step is written, because it actually prepares you for the harder work. So the first one's God. And then at a separate day, I find this is helpful. And I know it might sound silly to you, but I really do find it helpful that we admit to ourselves. Okay, now you can do this a couple ways. You can just sit down, you can read it out loud. Sometimes it's even helpful to do like an empty chair thing where you're like almost reading it to the empty chair as if Doug's reading it to Doug and say, Doug, let me tell you about this. Doug, let me tell you about this. Doug, let me tell you about this. Okay? Some people actually, when they're done, they get in the opposite chair and they respond back. That's pretty cool. Like they're like, hey, buddy, I was there, I forgive you. Let's go on, let's move forward. You know, I know your story, I was there with you. I'm proud of you for being honest about it today. And sometimes it's really cool to do that. So if you have the time, which you do, make the time, sit down, either just read it out loud to yourself and acknowledge it in that way. But if you want to be a little creative and have a little bit maybe more impact, I find people who do the step with an empty chair have a lot more impact. They remember it better. And so you sit in front of an empty chair and you just read your step out to you. And then if you want to be brave, go scoot yourself in that other chair and respond to that person who's opened their heart about all the good, all the bad that they're not proud of, because you can't keep secrets from yourself, you were there. And the things that happened and the ugly things that happened that you're not proud of, but you didn't cause. And you can say, you know, Doug, I was there when you were sexually abused. You know? I know that happened and I see the pain it caused you. I was there when you opened your first porn magazine. I was there when you went into the first, brothel or porn store or whatever you got into. I was there when that happened to you. I was there when you made that bad choice with that person. I was there when you did that, whether it was drugs or other things. I was there when you stole that. And I'm really proud that you're manning up or womaning up, if that's a term. And adulting up is probably the best term. And you're taking responsibility. That is so cool. I'm so proud of you. And you can actually kind of feel like you move to a different place with you. Because we have several relationships that are lifelong, whether we want them or not. One's with God. We have that relationship our entire life and afterlife. One's with ourselves. We have that relationship with ourselves all through time and after time. So it's okay once in a while to talk to yourself. You know, I'm a psychologist and I'll do an empty chair thing. I love it. It's fun. You know, sometimes I'll forgive myself because I just need to, because I'm human. I make mistakes. So please take the time and do that with you. It's a pretty cool exercise. The other thing is to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. This is not a vague thing. Now you've already went over it with God, so you probably filled in some details. You already went over it with yourself. So now you're really prepared to be doing the exact nature of our wrongs. Intents, motives, behaviors, whatever, okay? And so now you have a pretty good, you've gone through it twice. So now this is something you do with a very safe person. And let's clarify that, please. A safe person might be a sponsor who's in your S program. That is your best bet, probably, because they should have done their step 5. They know what this experience is like. They know it's going to take a couple hours. They're investing in you because someone invested in them. I'll never forget when I did my step 5. I was blown away by the impact. I was going to school as a therapist, and so I knew this one therapist who was in the S program. And so I made an appointment and I said, hey, I'm going to do my 5th step. But I read through every single part of it with him. I'll never forget it. I went through it and I went to pay him. He says, no, man, don't. It's a 5th step. I don't charge for that. And I was like, wow, this guy really showed me real love. Like he didn't have to do that. And I remember when I went to my car, I'm walking down the steps and think, wow, I don't really feel that much different. I thought I was going to have this like life-changing experience. And then I got in my car and I drove to the stop sign. And I hit that stop sign and it was literally like a flood went through my entire being and just washed something out. It was like, oh my gosh, I felt so good. I felt so clean. I felt so free. I literally pulled a block away. There was like this school like football field over there. I got out of the car and I ran around. I was so happy. I was thanking God. I was just free. Because when you do your 5th step, what happens when you tell that sponsor, or it could be a religious person, you know, pastor, priest, or rabbi, or whatever religious leader you're a part of, could be that person. But it's definitely someone who gets what you're trying to get done, okay? And that they are safe. This is not something you do with a relative. This isn't something you do with your best friend. I would say this is something you do with someone who's in the program at best. Okay, if it is a friend, you need to make sure that they're really for life, because sometimes friends can turn on you and you don't want them having your dirtiest information. So you have to make sure that you're safe with this person. But the results are huge. That lie you walked around with your entire life, if they really knew me, they wouldn't love me. Gone. Gone. You don't believe that anymore. Because I can remember sitting in that chair, telling all my secrets to another man. And it has to be someone of the same gender. Please, let's be clear on that, okay? And telling another man the exact nature of my wrongs. And when I got out of that car and jumping around, I was so free. I have never, ever been even tempted to believe if you knew me, you wouldn't love me. Because I know someone does know me, everything, and loves me. And then you, of course, you do the rest of your steps and you keep it clean so you don't get that lie back. You don't want to earn that lie, okay? But it's so freeing to do your step 5. You know, some people put this step off forever. Now, I'm a firm believer in a step a month is about the average speed of doing a step. So if you're like waiting 4 months to do a step, you are dragging your feet and you're robbing yourself of the joy that the steps want to bring to your life. Step 5 is one of the biggest joys in the steps because you no longer live with shame. The exact nature of your wrongs, when you speak them out loud to God, to yourself, and to another human being, gets rid of shame. You no longer believe that you are bad. You might have done some bad things, but you no longer believe you are bad. You believe you are loved, and it flips the coin inside of you. And you can start coming from a place of trusting others because you trusted someone with the deepest stuff, and now you can live free your entire life. So step 5 is huge. Do not miss doing step 5. Now we're going to continue in this conversation with the steps on sex addiction as well as other topics. Now, if you have not subscribed, please take the moment, click the button so you know when step 6 comes out, step 7 comes out, step 8 comes out, and all the other things that come out. We send stuff out almost every week. And if you have a sincere question, please just put it in the box. Happy to respond to you as soon as we possibly can. And I want to close with saying this. I'm proud of you. If you actually do your step 5, you have changed your own life, your own family, and your own future. I know because I know that moment changed Doug Weiss forever. And my hope and my prayer is when you do your step 5, you'll have a very similar experience and you'll be very proud that you did that.